everyone, welcome to the first of my 12-part series covering the coastal ferry journey from Bergen to Kirkenes and then back to Bergen during the winter season. This is the very first of the 12 videos that I'll be releasing on YouTube, one for every single day of the 12 days on the coastal voyage. I can't believe that after 2 years of preparation, the videos are finally going live. This has been a huge passion project for me, as well as a ton of work, a ton of standing outside in the freezing cold, trying to get the right footage. So I hope it is beneficial to you and to anyone else taking the coastal ferry route. A little bit about me. My name is Emma, and I'm an Australian who has lived here in Norway for more than 10 years. I work as a local guide in Bergen, as well as a trip leader, taking groups all over the Nordic region. I have an online travel blog called The Hidden North, and last year I released an in-depth guide to the Norwegian coastal ferry. With these videos, my goal is to show you why this journey is so special. Before we get started, it's important to know that this is not a review of the ships, nor am I focusing on a specific company or ship. Rather, my goal is to give an overview of the sailing route and what you can see and do, basically. That said, today's video is a little bit tricky because I wasn't able to really be vague. We had to show a specific ship because I had to show the embarkation process. So you will see Hurtigruten-related content, but Havila people, do not turn off, do not look away. I promise for the other 11 videos, it'll be a very general overview of the ships. It's just this one. I needed to show something. So I promise this is the only video where you'll see a specific ship. To be very specific, it's MS Richard With. You'll also see that this video is quite short, and that's because there's only a couple of hours to talk about today. I mean, you get to the terminal at 5 p.m, ship leaves at 8:30, go to bed at 9:30. At least I do anyway. I promise the other videos are much longer, so be sure to subscribe to this channel and keep an eye out for next week's video. All filming was done between February 2024 and May 2025. I took 4 northbound trips and then 3 southbound trips. I really want to show what it looks like in winter, but I will be using some photos from the summer sailings just so you can get that contrast. All right, let's get started. Today is the big day. You're embarking on the ship in Bergen, or at least I am for the purpose of this video. Bergen itself is a beautiful city, and if you can, it's worth spending an extra day or 2 here before sailing. Don't skip out on Bergen. Not only is it worth visiting, it's less risky if you want to come to Bergen a day or 2 early, because flights can be cancelled or delayed in winter. Bergen is the second largest city in Norway. The current population is about 293,000 people. It's a historic city as well, founded in 1070 as Norway's maiden trading port and serving as a capital throughout the 13th century. Bergen was the largest city in Scandinavia until the 16th century and the largest city in Norway until the 19th century. It is widely regarded as one of the most historic cities in Northern Europe. During your time in Bergen, you should join me on a tour with my walking tour company, I Love Bergen. I've put a link to our website in the description below. During your time in Bergen, you should join me on a tour with my walking tour company, I Love Bergen. I've put a link to our website in the description below. You can also ride the funicular, take a day trip to the fjords, visit one of the museums or galleries, and enjoy our vibrant culinary scene. But now let's get to the terminal. The terminal is located close to Bergen's cargo area on the edge of a well-preserved neighbourhood called Nøstet. If you're staying in the city centre, for example, I know a lot of people choose to stay at the Scandic Bergen city. It's only a very short walk away. But for those staying in Bergen, maybe you've come a couple days early, it may be a little bit too far to walk with suitcases. In that case, there are shuttle buses or you can take a short taxi ride. You can typically board the ship from 4 p.m, but I've never gotten there before 5 p.m. After all, your cabins aren't ready until 6 p.m, and dinner isn't served until 6 p.m. as well, so you're sort of just sitting around with bags while waiting for things to be ready. Once you enter the terminal in Bergen, you'll see the check-in desk. Head in, check in, and drop off your luggage. It's taken to your cabin. The staff member will give you your key card, and then you can set up your cruise account. I won't get into the specifics of how embarkation works, but I have written a guide for embarkation on my website, The Hidden North. There's a link down in the description. You'll then head up an escalator and into the safety briefing. Hurtigruten and Havila do use different areas, so just follow the signs in the terminal. The safety briefing doesn't last too long, but it is mandatory. They often do the safety briefing simultaneously in Norwegian, English, German, and French. After the safety briefing, follow the signs through the terminal and board the ship. We are finally on, so let's talk about what we can see from the outside. On the starboard right side, you will see lots of modern apartments down by the harbour. The mountain Fløyen with the Fløibanen funicular is also clearly visible on the starboard side. You'll also get a lovely view of the historic part of the neighbourhood with wooden houses scattered up the hill. Some of the houses can be traced back to the 17th century, though most of them are from the 18th and 19th centuries. The apartment blocks between the wooden houses are from the 19th century, when Bergen experienced a population boom. Nøstet is a historic sailors' quarter first mentioned in the 15th century. During the Middle Ages, it was owned by the wealthy Munkeliv monastery. By the 17th century, the area had become a bustling port community. The settlement was home to fishermen, boatmen, and industrial workers employed at the ropeworks and tobacco factory. Many residents also kept livestock that grazed on the city's outskirts. Over time, Nøstet grew organically into an unregulated neighbourhood. By the 19th century, Nøstet was described as a cluster of small houses and cottages. Mortality rates here were higher than in other boroughs of Bergen, and living conditions were notoriously poor and unhealthy. After the war, and especially in the last decade, Nøstet has seen a lot of urban development, and it is now one of the nicest neighbourhoods in Bergen, as well as one of the most expensive. At the back of the ship, or the aft, you can see Bergen's tallest mountain Ulriken with the TV tower on top. From here, you can also see the tower of Bergen's main church, St. John's, which was under scaffolding when I filmed this. The distinctive brown and yellow brick building is the Faculty of Law, which is part of the University of Bergen. The port side isn't so scenic. It is the terminal building that you just came through. From the front of the ship, you get a lovely view out to the city fjord and the island Askoy. The ship will sail around this island after departing Bergen. It is now time to leave. The ship leaves Bergen at 8:30 p.m, and it's well worth being up on deck for this. Let's talk about some of the main points of interest that you'll pass shortly after leaving. As the ship leaves port, there is an excellent view of the city skyline from the aft. On the starboard side, this unique building houses the fireboats. Also on the starboard side is what looks like an old factory. This is USF, a historic sardine factory that now functions as a cultural house. The building complex has a cinema, concert hall, art gallery, and several in-house artists. Above it, the fortress is called Frederiksberg Fortress, built in 1666 to defend the city against attacks. However, the fortress has never actually been used. At the end of the peninsula, on the starboard side, is the Nordnes Sea Bath, a historic swimming area for locals with sea pools, heated pools, and a sauna. On the port side, you'll sail alongside the neighbourhood of Luxembourg, which is a historic ship repair area. Here you'll be able to make out the submarine bunker Bruno. The bunker was built between 1941 and 1943 for the German submarines during the occupation of Norway. It's worth staying awake for the sailing under the Askoy Bridge, which happens about 15 minutes after the ship leaves Bergen. The bridge is just over 1 kilometre long and opened in 1992. When it opened, it was Scandinavia's longest suspension bridge, though it isn't anymore. After going under the bridge, the ship sails between the islands of Sotra to the port side and Askoy to the starboard side, and it will do so for the next hour or so. You may see some oil platforms on Sotra. This is where the platforms are being repaired before they head back out to the North Sea. And that's it. I told you this was quite a short video. The first day is still very important and a lot of fun, especially since you are finally on the trip you've probably been planning for a long time. All the information from today's video can be found on my website, The Hidden North, or in my Coastal Ferry Guidebook. On next week's video, I will cover day 2 of the Coastal Ferry journey, which covers the section of sailing from Molloy to Molde, stopping in the ports of Torvik, Ålesund, and the Huron Fjord. It's a very beautiful day of sailing, and I had amazing weather for most of the times I've filmed, so be sure to check it out. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in next week's video.